Hey, everybody, welcome to the SCB Steelers Inside Blitz for April 15th, 2025. Hope you got those taxes done, or I guess Uncle Sam will be coming after you. If not, what else is new, right? Hey, just a couple of thoughts heading into this week. We are about, 9 days out from the NFL draft, and man, it's coming up quickly, and the more that we take a look at this draft, it's really interesting from a couple of different perspectives. I think number one, it's not a real overly talented group. And what I mean is no disrespect to the potential draft picks. What I mean is that when you only have about 15 18 guys that are really getting true first round grades, what that means is there's not a lot of top talent here. So what does that mean? We don't know. I think many Steelers fans would love, myself included, to see a trade down, to drop down from 21 to say 26, 27, 28. And obviously you would like to keep that pick in the first round because you get that fifth year option with anybody you draft in the first. But um, I think we've heard Omar Khan talk specifically about the fact that he would really like to recoup that second round pick that they gave up to get DK Metcalf. Um, and rightfully so, because it does allow you to do some different things in terms of who you draft, because if they are serious about drafting a quarterback in this particular draft, having that second round pick either allows you to do that or maybe do it in the third while still getting a player in the first round and the second round that's going to help the team immediately. um, but that said, trading down, and I'll get into quarterbacks here in a minute, but trading down requires another dance partner. And when you have a draft that is short on quarterback talent, and when you have a draft that is 15 to 18 guys with true first round grades, you just don't know what's going to happen. And what I am hopeful of is that quarterbacks like Jackson Dart, like Shedeur Sanders, will be sitting there in the teens and in the early 20s, and teams that maybe were in the early, like the Giants, for example, maybe the Browns, that chose to go different routes at the top of the first round. Maybe they think, you know what, we got to trade up to get one of those quarterbacks. And they may be sitting there at looking at 21, looking at us. And if we can trade down and add picks, it's a fantastic thing, especially since I don't know that there's one guy that the Pittsburgh Steelers are really in love with. They're never going to tell us that. I think we know that, right? But I just don't get the feeling that there's any one guy in particular that they feel like they have to have. I would be absolutely stunned if the Steelers themselves traded up, because again, I just don't see that one player that's there. Now, the only exception to that is if something crazy happened where Cam Ward just started falling, and all of a sudden, it was he's sitting there at the 10 spot, the 11 spot, and I mean the Steelers would be in a bidding war of epic proportions to try to trade up for that. But so let's not even go there because it ain't gonna happen. But it would have to take something like that. So you have to find a willing partner to do it. And if the Steelers do choose to sit at 21, then it's pretty wide open. And my gut feeling still tells me defensive tackle at this particular time, but I'm becoming more and more open to the idea that it will be somebody in a different position, just strictly because of the amount of time that they have spent on safeties in the pre-draft process. Obviously, running backs, wide receivers as well. Don't be a bit shocked if it goes that route. But I'll have some more thoughts on that coming up next week before our big draft show. Next topic is quarterbacks in general. If the Steelers choose to go that route, and I wrote this morning for SteelCityBlitz.com, shameless plug, that I really think if the Steelers are going to draft a quarterback, and hear me out here, don't turn me off immediately from hearing this name, because I know he's like old. But the guy I would want them to get is Tyler Shough. All right. Now he's 26. He's literally the same age as Trevor Lawrence, who's on his second NFL contract now. The guy has struggled to stay healthy. He's played in 3 or 4 different programs: Texas Tech, Oregon, finished up at Louisville. And the pros around him, with the con being that he's older, okay, no doubt about it. But the pros around him, and I would suggest watch a little tape. He's got a very good arm. He's got a very quick release. He's got decent mobility for a guy that's 6'5", 225. Okay. But what I like the most is the positive attitude for a guy that's had 3 pretty bad injuries. And even more than that, I like the smarts and the experience of having dealt with multiple types of offenses. And look, just because I suggest you draft Tyler Shough, I am not saying he's your guy in the future. That's not what I'm saying. I am saying that you've got to rebuild that quarterback room, because right now all you've got is Mason Rudolph and Skylar Thompson. All right. No disrespect to Skylar Thompson. All right. But really, you're just talking about Mason Rudolph right now. All right. You've got to rebuild that room. So my thinking is, if Shough is available there, I would prefer 4th round, but because he's a quarterback, you probably have to get him in the 3rd. Everybody's going to be looking for talent. All right. Maybe even the 2nd, God forbid. But, who knows? Okay. I just think he's a guy you could have around for a few years. You could use his knowledge, expertise, experience, playing a lot of college ball as a backup. And next year you still get that future, that guy that's your quarterback of the future, and you draft him. Now you've got a rebuilt quarterback room, where you've got your guy, you've got a guy that's potentially a good backup. And again, I'm like every other person. I don't know. I'm throwing pasta at the wall, hoping it sticks, and being able to come back someday and say, "Ha, told you." But I've been doing this so long that I know that's in the minority. Usually we're wrong, but right now that's the guy I would look at, just strictly because the Steelers will need a young person that, if something happens to Mason Rudolph, you have a guy with some sense of experience and some sense of adversity that can handle it. And I say all of this with the idea that Aaron Rodgers isn't coming here. Okay. Now, if Aaron Rodgers does come here, that would change my opinion a little bit about drafting Shough. But Aaron Rodgers is taking his own sweet time. And I really hope that we would have a decision. And granted, we still have a week plus to get that. But I really hoped he would make a decision before the draft. Because if he doesn't, then it just feeds into the all about me attitude that he is often cited for having. So Shough would be my guy, and for those reasons. The last thing I'll share today before I close off on this short form podcast here for SteelCityBlitz.com, as an older guy, things frustrate me at times from organizations and stuff. And I saw today that the University of Colorado is going to retire the jerseys of Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders. Okay. Travis Hunter, you can make an argument for, because he won a Heisman Trophy. Okay. Even though they both were there only 2 years, I could at least look somebody in the face and say, yeah, that makes sense. Travis Hunter won a Heisman Trophy. They don't hand those things out, on the street. Okay. He was an amazing player. He earned it. But I still don't think you retire the number. And especially in the case of Shedeur Sanders. The guy's career record at Colorado was 13-12. 13-12. And you're going to retire his number because he's in the top 5 of career passing yardage, I think, there. This just reeks of just this common era that we're in. And I hate to go there, but it's like the participation trophy stuff. It's like, you finished dead last in your little league, and yet you're still going to get a trophy. And I'm not knocking the fact that it's okay to recognize kids' efforts and stuff, but at the same time, what are we teaching? And that gets very, very frustrating for me. I can't imagine this. And I think maybe it's the Pittsburgh Steeler fan in me, because we don't hand out jersey retirements the way people think we do, and the way that most other teams around the league do. Is it true that we don't let people wear 12 or 58, or 47? Yeah, it is. It's true. But those numbers still aren't officially retired. And we're in the process of doing that now. The team has finally started getting to that point, but once every year, once every other year. But this idea of retiring jerseys for players that didn't really accomplish anything for the university, in that case, I don't know. Again, old guy coming at you. Don't forget, the SCB Steelers podcast presented by Deck Roofing is coming up this Thursday. We will have our one of our newest draft gurus, Cliff, is going to make his podcast debut this week, and at least we hope so. We'll run a little test with him, make sure he's got all the proper equipment and everything, and hopefully he can join us. He's got a lot of thoughts. He's done a ton of work heading into the draft, and get some of his insights on who the guys he wants to see become Pittsburgh Steelers, and maybe guys to avoid. But don't forget, that comes up this week live on our YouTube channel, and of course it'll be available on the website as well, and the audio versions too. So that's it for me. I went way past my normal 10 minutes, and hope you enjoyed it. If not, well, you wasted 10 minutes with me. What can I tell you? Have a great rest of your week. Don't forget the show coming up on Thursdays, and don't forget, go Steelers.